Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. You probably heard the whispers swirling around the NFL lately. And if you haven't, hold on to your hats because what's brewing could be a game changer for the Giants. Sources are suggesting that the Kansas City Chiefs, currently struggling a bit on defense and navigating salary cap constraints, might be open to the unthinkable, trading one of their top interior defenders, Chris Jones, to the Giants. Yeah, you heard me right. Chris Jones, a dominant all-pro defensive tackle, could be heading to New York. And honestly, if this deal goes down, it could be one of those moves that define the Giants' future for years to come. Let's set the scene. The Chiefs, sitting at 6'5", are finding themselves in a situation where their defense is giving up about 3 points per game, which isn't terrible but certainly not what you'd expect from a team with Super Bowl aspirations. Their cap situation is tight too. After that massive Patrick Mahomes deal, they're burning through cap space with only about $8 million left, and they need to make some smart moves to free up room. Plus, they're facing some pressing needs on the offensive line and at wide receiver, which makes their roster flexibility even tighter. It's no secret that Kansas City's trying to find a way to reload, especially on defense, which has slipped a bit this season. And here's where the Giants come into the picture. They've got a glaring need on their interior line. Their front seven has been a bit vulnerable, especially with Kayvon Thibodeaux battling injuries and some inconsistency. Imagine adding a player like Chris Jones, a guy who's been a disruptive force in the league for a decade now. With his ability to collapse the pocket, stuff the run, and generate pressure, he could transform the Giants' defense from a decent unit into a real nightmare for opposing offenses. Better yet, a trade like this might not cost the Giants their top draft picks. Reports suggest the Chiefs might be looking for a second-round pick in 2026, which could be a fair deal considering Jones' elite production. Chris Jones, drafted in 2016, has been one of the league's most consistent and disruptive defensive tackles. Over his career, he's accumulated impressive stats, close to 450 tackles, nearly 80 sacks, 12 forced fumbles, and a PFF grade that hovers around 92. His pressure metrics are off the charts, with over 600 pressures and 150 QB hits. He's a double-team nightmare, with a win rate of around 22%, and he's known for his ability to stuff the run, earning a run defense grade of 91. His presence alone can change the outcome of a game, especially in critical moments. Now, the potential impact on the Giants could be enormous. Adding Jones to a front that already features Kayvon Thibodeaux, who's been showing flashes of brilliance, would create a fearsome duo. If the Giants can keep Thibodeaux healthy, pairing him with Jones could lead to an increase of about 18 sacks from their interior, which is staggering. It would also bolster their run defense. Right now, they're allowing around 2 yards per carry, but with Jones's presence clogging the middle, that number could drop to about 3-4. That's a huge difference, especially when you're trying to control the clock and keep opposing offenses off the field. Think about the matchup nightmares this creates. Jones versus opposing interior linemen would free up edge rushers to get after the quarterback, and it would also make life easier on the linebackers and secondary. Better run stopping, more pressure on the QB, and a more formidable defense overall. This move could also help the Giants' red zone defense improve, as Jones is exceptional at collapsing the pocket and forcing turnovers. Their points allowed per game could drop from roughly 25.8 to about 20. That's a significant step forward in their quest to become a top-tier defense. Let's also consider the broader implications. The Giants are in the middle of a season that's been a roller coaster, inconsistent offensive production, some struggles on defense, and questions about whether they can contend for the playoffs. But a move like acquiring Chris Jones could shift the narrative entirely. It's not just about fixing a problem. It's about signaling to the rest of the league that the Giants are serious about making a push. With Jones, their chances of reaching the postseason and even making a deep run increase exponentially. His ability to generate pressure in clutch moments, the kind of money plays that win games, would give Brian Daboll's squad a massive boost. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Will the Chiefs really trade him? And what about the cap hit? Well, the Chiefs are probably aware that losing Jones would hurt. But if they're looking at a rebuild or retooling, especially with Mahomes, window still open but not endless, they might see this as a way to recoup some draft capital and clear salary cap space for future moves. Kansas City has been known to prioritize their cap flexibility and draft picks, especially when they see an opportunity to reconfigure their roster for the long haul. Also, there are some interesting details emerging about the Chiefs' current strategy. They're focusing on youth on their offensive line, and with Jones potentially moving on, they might shift their focus to developing their younger players or bringing in new pieces in free agency. But for the Giants, this is a potential game changer. They'd be getting a player who's been a cornerstone of Kansas City's defense, someone who's consistently ranked among the best at his position. His presence would elevate the entire unit, and it could even change how opposing offenses game plan against the Giants. And if we zoom out a bit, it's worth noting how this fits into the Giants' larger strategic picture. Dave Gettleman is long gone, replaced by Joe Scone and Brian Daboll, who have shown a commitment to building through the draft, but are also not afraid to make splashy moves when the opportunity arises. If they can swing this deal, it would send a clear message that the Giants are all in on contending sooner rather than later. It would also send a message to the NFC East that the Giants are ready to take a big step forward and compete at the highest level. Of course, nothing is guaranteed until it's finalized, but the buzz is real, and the potential for Chris Jones to wear Giants blue isn't just a pipe dream anymore. It's a move that could reshape the division, shake up the NFC landscape, and add a new layer of excitement to the Giants' season. Imagine the roar of MetLife Stadium when Jones steps onto the field in a Giants uniform, ready to disrupt defenses and chase that elusive Super Bowl. That's the kind of impact this move could have, and honestly, it's the kind of move that could define a new era of Giants football. So as we keep tabs on this developing story, one thing's clear. The Giants' front office is always looking for ways to elevate the team, and if they pull off this trade, they're sending a loud and clear message. They're not just here to compete, they're here to dominate. And if you're a Giants fan with hope for another Super Bowl run, this could be exactly the kind of move that makes that dream a little more realistic. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, it's all about how this potential trade influences the Giants' fortunes close to the playoffs. With Jones on board, the defense would become a strength rather than a liability. It would also open up possibilities for the Giants to focus more on their offensive weapons, knowing that their defense can now hold its own against the best. Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, and a revamped defense with Jones could form the core of a squad that's ready to make noise in January and beyond. The NFC is wide open, and with this kind of upgrade, the Giants could be the dark horse that sneaks into the postseason and makes a deep run. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe a trade for Chris Jones is the game changer the Giants need? Would you be willing to give up that second-round pick in 2026? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Giants. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Giants news and analysis. Whether it's rumors, transactions, or game previews, we've got you covered. Let's keep this passion alive and continue building the legacy of blue and white. This is more than just football. It's about pride, history, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. Together, we're making history, Giants fans. Let's see where this story takes us next.